for a few days. And it was going great. We're having all of these amazing conversations. And so I said, we should meet. And he said, sure. He lived out of state. And so I said, well, I'll come down. And he said, okay. And I made the arrangements. And then he said, no, don't come. I'm not looking for a relationship. No, don't come. I said, okay, well. And then he said, no, come. And then he said, no, don't come. Come, don't come, don't come. So long story short, I ended up going. And he came into my hotel room. He took one look at me, and he said, well, I needn't have worried because I'm not attracted to you. Every word from my mouth you inhaled like opium. The sound of my voice sent you into delirium. Given how you said you loved my brain, I'd expect that you worship at the altar of my intellect. But one glance at me made those feelings evaporate. With a face like this, you can see I'm not your soulmate. So what you see isn't your cup of tea. Don't settle for me before a fantasy. But hey, I'm pretty, why don't you love me? Why does it matter? I don't know why it matters. You say you're not shallow, that you love from the inside. That's not true, or you would have at least tried. What's wrong with my face? That's such a disgrace. Were my eyes too blue, or were they the wrong hue? The pictures don't lie, so I don't get why you turn me away with that crap that you say. And you weren't really quite what I thought of as a white knight. When we met in my room, I could tell it wasn't right. A loving expression would have made a good impression, but your dull eyes said that your feelings were dead. But hey, I'm pretty, why don't you love me? Why does it matter? I don't know why it matters. You say you're not shallow, that you love from the inside. That can't be true, or you would have empathized. And looking at your face, it wasn't even a trace of those feelings that overwhelmed you, so you didn't know what to do. If you put your heart on the line, your face would glow like mine, but you treated me like stone, not like when we were on the phone. Still, you had that mischievous smile that I saw when you were a child, and I still want to sew a line from your heart to mine to connect us in that way. We connected the other day, cause your face is a part of the whole, and what I fell for was your soul. But hey, I'm pretty, why don't you love me? Why does it matter? I don't know why it matters. You don't even know what it's like to love from the inside. When you said what you wanted, it's clear that you lied. Hey, I'm pretty, why don't you love me? Why does it matter? I don't know why it matters. You say you're not shallow, that you love from the inside. That's not true, or you would have at least tried. That song was actually originally written as a rap song, when Eric and I were in the studio and we picked the song to work on, then Eric said, I don't actually have a lot of experience producing rap. Surprise, surprise, in the accent suburbs. So he said, what if we did it as a punk song? Well, I said, well, that would be appropriate for the song, which is kind of full of irony and ridiculousness. So he played this like real scritchy guitar, and then we brought in, later on we brought in the drums and the bass, and the drummer was playing like ska drums. Did you recover from playing this today? It was quite exhausting. And then toward the end of our production process, then we brought in, we were bringing in other instruments besides the basic instruments that we had, and we had a violinist coming in. And Eric said, well, what songs do you want him to play on besides the songs that we had planned on? And I said, if he's like a rock violinist, if he understands what I'm looking for, then he could play on But I'm Pretty, And he brought him in, and indeed, he was a rock violinist. He was a Celtic rock violinist. His name is Jordan Terrell Wysocki. Did I get that right? It's a lot of name. And he did an amazing job. And I know the song's a little strange, but I think it's one of the best on the CD, honestly, because of the violin. And it has quite a few profanities on the recorded version, but I figured I'm in a church. That didn't really seem the appropriate thing to sing. So if you're listening in the car with kids, then you're going to want to flip past that one. So I got back from this trip, and I had an apology waiting for me, and it was a pretty lame apology. It was something like, I'm sorry I couldn't give you this happy ending. And I said, well, that is definitely lame after everything he put me through. And so I wrote this song, which is the apology that I should have gotten, and it's called The Sorry Waltz. I'm so sorry I can't give you the happy ending you deserve. It might seem condescending when you know I lost my nerve. It's best we stop pretending the situation's not absurd. I'm so sorry, and sorry's just a word. I might have said some things that you could say aren't really true, like when you wanted me to be with you, and I said, yeah, me too. At least I didn't go so far and say that I love you. Well, I might have, but my point was misconstrued. I'm so sorry I can't give you the happy ending you deserve. It might seem condescending when you know I lost my nerve. It's best we stop pretending the situation's not absurd. I'm so sorry, and sorry's just a word. You flew down here to meet me, even when I told you no. With all that you put up with, it's a wonder you would go. I have thought you would have wanted to avoid this imbroglio. Just don't say that I never told you so. And now that it's all over, I would like to stay your friend. It's true, I bruised your ego without meaning to offend. Will you still give your love to me? Sweet emotions still extend. Leave the light on, I might need you in the end. I'm so sorry I can't give you the happy ending you deserve. It might seem condescending when you know I lost my nerve. It's best we stop pretending the situation's not absurd. I'm so sorry, and sorry's just a word. Go Barbados. Thank you. So when you have a relationship that goes wrong, whether it's a friendship, it could be a work relationship, it could be a personal relationship, romantic relationship, but your friends tend to be sort of rabidly on your side. And they tend to heap on the other person and call them names and call them a jerk, or again, worse, but given where we are. But the thing is that person hasn't changed just because something's gone wrong. So I wrote a song about, they still have the positive qualities that you thought that they had beforehand. So I wrote a song about that phenomenon, and it's called Still You. The thing that was exciting about it was all these different influences came out of me. You know, there's a little bit of rap, there's a little bit of blues, a little bit of pop. And this song, I was really surprised because to me it was like Burt Bacharach. It sounded like Burt Bacharach, and I was really excited to hear that influence come out of me. And when we went to record it, Joe did a terrific job on piano, as he did today, giving it that Burt Bacharach sound. And when we were toward the end of our process, I wanted a trumpet player on this song because I was thinking of the song "You See This Guy" by Burt Bacharach with Herb Alpert from the '60s, and I was picturing that sort of trumpet on that. And so we brought a trumpet player in, very talented guy, but it just wasn't the sound I wanted. It wasn't the type of trumpet I wanted. It was just a little too busy for what we were doing. And so when we got into the mixing room, then Eric said, "Which version do you want to use?" I said, "I don't want to use this. This isn't what I wanted." I said, "But you know what? You can save this note, this note, this note, and this note, and the ending, and I'll do that." And so now, I hope you'll hear it when you listen to the CD. Now it's like I love it. It really works. It's funny how these things work out. This next song is called "I Fell." just tell you a little bit about the songwriting process. You know, the song Still You actually it's kind of interesting that it came out so interesting because it was just written in 4-line stanzas, 4-line choruses. And I was afraid with like an A-B type of rhyming scheme. And I was afraid that I was going to write all my songs like that and they were all going to sound the same and it was going to be really boring. So what I did was I looked at some of the format that some of my favorite music writers had used. So that song, for example, I used, there's a lot of Amy Mann influence in that. And she's a fabulous songwriter, very, very clever lyricist. And also the earlier song, Recognize You, that was almost straight the form of one of her songs, but it sounds nothing like it. Save Me is the song. And so now we're going to do a song called Wishes. we felt, because the way we would make a song was first we would start, Eric and I would get together, and he would do the rhythm guitar. And that really is the sort of basis for the song, because then we would bring in the rhythm section, which was drums and bass, sometimes stand-up bass, sometimes electric bass. And this would all be played to what's called a click track. And I would do a scratch vocal, which is something that gets thrown out. But it's something between the click track and the scratch vocal. It's for the other musicians to play to. And then we would bring in, like Joe on piano, where he did this beautiful Falling Stars. And we would bring in our lead guitarist. And so this song, when Eric and I went to hash it out, then he started to play it really slowly in this adagio sort of sound. I'd written it a lot faster, and I said, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I could sing it that slowly, but that's really kind of cool. And so we went with it, and we ended up when we brought the rhythm section in, and we used the stand-up bass, and it's got a very cool sound. And we used bongo drums, and we used, what are those bells called at the end? The bells? Bell trees. Gives it this hippy-dippy sound, and then, as I said, Joe did the twinkling piano of the stars falling. And then when our lead guitarist is Kevin Barry, who's really terrific, I would have loved for him to have joined us today, but he is on tour with The Who. Just that. So he's really terrific. And so Eric had him play lap steel. I wasn't there that day, actually. He had him play lap steel guitar. And when I heard it, then I said, what did you do? There's like whale sounds on this song. So it's a very hippy-dippy sort of song. It was not at all what I had in mind, but it came out really cool, and it's one of my favorite songs on the CD. These next two songs are about when things are going right in a relationship. This first one's a sweet one.